This video is about a tactic that our Knox County, Tennessee property tax assessor combined with the tax collector and the mayors of the county and the city, which we don't need but one mayor anyway. Here's what when I received my email from the mayor of the city of Knoxville, I said to myself, gosh, was I relieved to find out that the city of Knoxville was not raising their property tax rate from $2.81 per hundred to God knows what. But wait a minute. One other thing pops in my head, and here it is. The Knox County Assessor's Office, in a lot of cases, has just raised the appraised value on your property, which increases the tax assessed value of your property by maybe hundreds of dollars, except for picked politicians and rich people. We all know about them. And golly, what does that mean? Think about it. Even though the city of Knoxville does not raise their tax rate, they benefit from the hundreds and maybe thousands of dollars that your property has been overassessed for. In other words, you pay the city more taxes. Now, who would have thought that would happen? Hey, I know who would have thought of it. The politicians. What do you think? For instance, and this is an example only, if your property tax assessment value, not your appraised value, is raised by $5,000, you may not pay the county any extra taxes this year. However, how much more would you pay the city? Now do the math. City tax rate is $281 a hundred, and multiply it times the number of hundreds in $5,000, which is 50. So you come up paying the city about, well, I know this because I went to Oak Ridge High and I graduated. I learned how to cipher and everything back in 1949. Anyway, you pay them $140 more in taxes per year for at least 4 years. And golly bum, now that's a 1940s term for gosh for Jiminy Cricket. What happens in 4 years? Now, this is such a hard question, but after thinking about it, I came up with this. State law says we have to have another assessment. That's every 4 years. Or the county writes more checks than they can cover, so they raise the tax rate. Then the tax reappraisal that they made in 2000 became a big pay raise for the county. When I questioned the tax assessor about the increase in the appraisal value of Knox County property in the middle of a bad recession, he answered, and this is my interpretation to his answer, okay? Property tax values in Knox County increased. Now get this, they increased during the 4 years prior to 2009. So by law, he has to increase the value. I have questioned several real estate people, and they all indicate that the property values are down to the, now get this, 2002 values, property values. I told the assessor to go home and pray. Oh, I hope I don't make anybody uneasy when I say pray about the increase, and think about the word compassion when applying the law. I must include that the new assessor has inherited a big mess, and right now he's in over his head trying to apply the law, but the politicians won't let him, you know that. And the people in power, they want all the money they can get so they can write them big checks for themselves and everybody else. Now, there's nothing we can do as individuals in the middle class by ourselves. We must band together and raise our voices so that we can be heard over the garbage put out by the grubbing politicians who are in a different class from us and out of touch with the people that they're supposed to serve. They're serving themselves, aren't they? Who would have guessed that? They have lost their way, if they ever knew the way. Let's put them on the right track. Email me if you want to join the attempt. Anybody from Knox County, okay? Now, just this little note, my research was obtained from 3 websites: the county assessor's website, the trustees' website, and KGIS KnoxNet. Where all my statements are my own opinions. But it should be the opinions of everybody in Knox County instead of being some kind of weenie and sitting there and just paying. You know, when I went down for my assessment, I didn't sit there and say, oh yes, sir. I told them, I said, I don't want my property assessed for any more. Period. End of report. And as I left, the people sitting in there, I said, welcome to hell. And don't take a bunch of crap. Make them do what you want them to do. Apply the law to the politicians as well as the rich people, and make it equal to the poor old taxpayer. Now, by using these websites, I found a lot of rich people and politicians that were not paying as much as I was, and they live in these $700,000, $800,000, $1 million houses. And how did that happen? Just how did that happen? Let's get together and we'll question them. We'll find out what in the world happened. Remember, Knox County, Tennessee. Let's band together. Come on.